Hello.
How are we doing this week?
Welcome to episode 3 already.
Time has flown by
has.
quickly. I'm Amber Rose.
And I'm Sophia Hannah. And this is Tap Water.
What is running through the tap today?
I was brought up a Jehovah's Witness. And
I was brought up in Ismaili.
you was.
It would be way too much of an ask for me to be looking for an apartment for one person for around £2,000.
Yeah,
not including bills.
No, not if you want a nice one.
No. You've got to just not be frightened of the stage. You've got to enjoy it.
To get rid of stage fright, you've got to not be frightened of the stage. Yes. Amber Rose 2024. Thank you.
Honestly, if I go on a night out, right, with a random person, I'd be like, by the way, do you know where Hunter's from? That's where I'm from. Like, yes, I want people to know where I'm from.
I'm actually 51% North African.
Really?
So that means even my mum has a little bit of North African in her somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't believe it's episode 3 already.
Mad.
And so this week is another life-focused episode. So if you haven't realized already, the way that we formatted this podcast is every week we're going to alternate between a life-focused topic and a business-focused topic.
Yeah.
All things to do with being startup founders, our careers, everything to do with making money, essentially. And then in our life-focused episodes, it's going to be just navigating life.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're two young girls in our 20s that run businesses that are going through a lot of things in life.
A lot of things.
So we thought it would make sense to alternate between the two. And so hopefully you guys enjoy this format. This week for me has been insanely stressful. It's always stressful.
I'm laughing because you say it like it's a new thing.
No, like genuinely, when am I not going through something? I feel like I'm that friend that's always got a story.
Aww.
I'm always doing something that's just like...
I love your stories. Okay, hit me. What have we got this week? What is stressing the mind of
moving
Amber Rose?
out. Yeah, have an ex-partner now, which is lovely, which means that obviously I've got to move out. Well, actually, wait, can I clear this up?
Yes, actually should.
Because loads of people are interested to know
why isn't he moving out,
why
right?
would I move out? And do you know what, girls? Absolutely correct.
Good question, to be fair.
Good question, because I would be wondering the same thing. And I realised I didn't give any context.
Yeah.
So just to, make it crystal clear, if I wanted to stay in this apartment,
You would be. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because of 2 reasons. 1, because I'd like to. And 2, because Michael is such a gent, he just wouldn't fight it.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the type of guy that's like, you get out,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
stay.
yeah. No.
That's not what happened. He basically runs the day-to-day operations at the store, which is in Croydon, which means that this flat just works so perfectly for him.
It's so close.
It's so
convenient.
So convenient. And where I'm not actually at the shop every single day because my role is slightly different to his. Like I do a little bit more of the marketing, the branding. A lot of the stuff that I do can be done remotely. I don't have to be at the shop every day. Just means I've got a little bit more flex on where to live.
Yeah.
And obviously if I am going to be living alone as one human being that is a female.
That's what alone means.
Just to make it crystal clear. If I'm going to be a female alone in the world, I am not living in Croydon.
Fair.
Of all places.
Very fair.
Why would I stay? So I was like, yeah, mate, this is brilliant. I'll see you later. So
it's a great chance to just get out, start fresh. Yeah.
And I have been wanting to move out of Croydon for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just I literally stayed here for the business. I moved here for the business, so did he. So this is my perfect opportunity to just spread my wings a little bit.
Exactly.
So that is why I'm moving out. It makes more sense. But it does mean it's a little bit stressful for me trying to find a place.
Because I was going to say there is a crisis right now.
There is a genuine crisis. I have never, ever experienced anything like it. I have been moving from flat to flat since the tender age of 19. Okay, that's when I've moved out. I'm the type of person where I'm changing my address every year. It's insufferable. Yeah. Okay. And
electoral rolls
it's not looking good. It's not looking good. But I am registered to vote, by the way.
Oh wait, it's not even electoral roll. What is that question?
It is.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You've got to be registered to vote so that people can find you when you're applying for credit and stuff like that. But all really fun stuff. I literally can't find a property, and I normally am the type of person who's like, I'm on Zoopla, on Rightmove.
Yeah.
I can find.
She's
property
always
quickly.
finding a flat.
Yeah,
even when you was moving into this one, it was quite a quick succession.
Exactly, and I was like, if I'm going to stay in Croydon for a year longer, I'm going to be in one of the nicest places in Croydon. So it was like a brand new build. When we came into this property,
you was one of the first.
We were literally number 5 in the entire building. We had the pick of what floor we wanted, what apartment we wanted, so we picked the nicest one naturally. But we don't even have options like that right now in the London renting market.
Second floor or nothing.
It's literally like, it's giving ground floor. It's giving terraced house. I just want a normal, somewhat aesthetic, somewhat clean place. And it's just too much to ask for. Let alone somewhere that's kind of near a train station.
Oh no, actually, you can ask for it, but you just have to
won't get
pay
it.
£7,000 a month.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
£7,000 a month, or just don't even think about
corrected,
it.
Yeah, because it would be way too much of an ask for me to be looking for an apartment for one person for around £2,000.
Yeah,
not including bills.
No, not if you want a nice one.
No. Because honestly, I spoke to an estate agent today, and she looked at me like I was crazy when I said my budget was just like, if I can, £1,900, £2,000 for a one bed.
She didn't like that.
She didn't like it.
So, options are going to be limited.
I'm sorry, options are limited.
For a one bedroom.
It's a one bedroom flat. Made me feel like I was being like stingy.
Tight and stingy.
I'm sorry, I don't want to spend 4K on rent. But anyways, listen, it is what it is. I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
Every single time I lock in a viewing, the property is either off the market or the estate agent just doesn't want to let me in.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the other week, right? So I'd found this property. It wasn't even ideal. It was like, let me go for a viewing.
Oh.
Go. And I'm like, I am a little bit of an annoying person. I do take an Uber everywhere.
You do.
Yeah, I don't
I've been begging her to get her license.
It's something I need to do.
It is, darling.
It's quite embarrassing, but I have been a passenger princess for a very long time.
You have.
And thoroughly enjoyed it. And if I could have it my way, I would like a chauffeur and like to be driven around everywhere.
She keeps saying she wants to move eastward because I'm in East. And that a big reason of that is because she'd like me to become her personal chauffeur.
Absolutely. And I think that would be a
so
win-win for
serious
both of
about
us.
it. Oh, and where do I win in that? Can I clarify?
Obviously you get to come over to mine. I'll cook you some dinner.
Nice.
And then you could potentially drop me to the shop.
Okay.
And then I can do my shopping.
To Croydon.
No, I meant the grocery shop.
Oh.
Driving from East London to Croydon is mad.
I've suffered.
Yeah. It is suffering.
I pray on my behalf that you get an apartment in East London.
Yeah.
To make my life
But listen,
easier.
exactly. I want to move to East, and I think
love
that is. I'm being a good friend.
Yeah.
Moving close to you.
The least I could do is chauffeur you around.
Exactly.
This is what she does. Like,
Have I just-
serial gaslight?
No, wait. I actually am so good at gaslighting these days, I've been living so delusionally. I don't know what's happened. Maybe it's a single brain. But I am so good at gaslighting.
Bending reality, I've called it recently.
Yes.
She's gotten really good at bending reality to the reality that she would like it to be.
Because if you just live life through your own lens and be delusional, life is just a better place. The world is a better place. Don't worry about being realistic. Being realistic is boring. Live your life the way that you want to live your life, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Word.
But that is the story in Balamory. I am not homeless, but pretty much feels like
Half
it.
homeless.
Yeah. And yeah, it's not fun. I'd like to find a place. If there's any estate agents
I was just
listening,
going to say, any real estate agents,
hit me up. And do not tell me I'm being unrealistic for wanting a one-bedroom apartment for
£2,000.
That's not in Croydon.
Please.
I'm begging on my knees. Get me on the DLR line somewhere.
Surely.
And get me a decent enough flat.
I'm praying for my girl.
What's been happening with you?
I have stage fright.
Yeah, you do.
I have
Chronic
stage
fear.
fright. Like chronic, like insufferable stage fright.
What's happened?
For context, I had a theatre audition because I've been saying I'm going to get back into the singing, I'm going to get back into the acting. Really adamant it's going to happen this time.
Love that.
Quick detour. I auditioned for The Voice last year.
She did.
And again, experienced lower level, but stage fright again.
It was big stage fright energy.
Obviously got rejected because they want to see people that actually can sing in front of people, which is a skill I didn't possess at that time and clearly still don't possess. So
but why? You sound angelic. I just don't understand. If they actually heard you, you'd get the role. The issue is it's not coming out of your mouth.
Right, because this is the thing. I actually genuinely believe I can sing. Whether or not you agree, I believe I do.
Of course you can.
And the people around me believe it too,
Yeah.
which is really nice and reassuring. So I told myself, I'm just going to go for the audition. So for context, there was a dance segment, a singing segment, and an acting segment.
Sorry, dance is crazy.
Yeah, dance is quite crazy. And Oh, it was so bad, Emma. It was so bad. So I get there and we're in a group and I'm early and I'm not a punctual person. And for once, I was the second person to arrive. And they said, oh, you're early. Great. So I was like, yeah, making a good impression. Because I was so nervous, I had to be early.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was there, was practicing. And then as more and more people came into the room, they were all just filled with anxiety, practicing their lines out loud, like just stressing and discussing.
It makes you more
and it makes
nervous.
it worse.
Yeah, it's like a ball of anxiety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was genuinely a sponge to their energy. Like I was internalizing the anxiety so bad. So I was just like, okay, cool. Go into the dance audition now. And so the choreographer pre-sent the dance to everyone. So we had learnt this dance. We know it. So she's like, we're not going to teach it to you. We're just going to run through it a few times and then you're going to perform it. So then she put us into 2 groups because there was about 8 of us. So groups of 4, super small. And then we run through it 2 times. And then she's like, okay, one more time. So then we do it one more time. Now in my mind, because I was so nervous, I was like, I'm not going to actually perform it until we're actually told, okay, this is the audition part now. So we do it for the last time and they say, great, your audition is done.
Stop. I didn't get to dance.
I didn't get to dance. I was just like going through
This
the
is
moves.
what they do in auditions. Like they do this to like induce nerves. They want to see you under pressure. I didn't get to do my
perform
dance.
it. Like I did not dance.
I was practicing in a group and I also stood at the back of that group.
So didn't stand out, and if anything, I probably did as the worst dancer in the room.
Come on, give yourself some more credit.
No,
than that.
I don't need to because I can dance, and that wasn't dancing. There's no credit due, I swear. I wish I had the footage because they taped this as well. It was horrific. I'd love to see what I did.
But I'm happy that you did it. I could never dance on demand. So I actually genuinely think, well done, pat on the back. At least you did it. Braver than most.
It gets worse though, because then I had to sing.
Nice.
And so
but singing is something you're good at.
Oh, apparently so. Apparently
One
so.
would think.
But then what I decided to do was to walk into that room and I sang the first few lines and it was good. It was good. It was fine. And then we're getting to the second segment. So there was a pause. I'm singing with a live pianist who's playing.
Nice. I like that.
And there's a pause and the song just changes completely.
Okay.
And this is where all the high notes are. So I came back into the room during that pause and this is where it all went downhill. Down.
You just realized in that moment
where I am, what I'm doing. And it went horrific. Like if you Googled what is stage fright, a picture of that audition would come up on the Google search.
That makes me sad.
Shaky, mousy. I was the embodiment of a mouse in that. Like
but
it was.
Why?
I don't know because it wasn't even that deep. It was just like a small theatre production, you know. But I just got so anxious, and because I haven't performed in so long, I just sit in front of my phone and record TikToks. I don't perform. I can't even sing in front of you properly.
Yeah,
like when we're singing around, but when you say just sing, I can't.
It is hard to sing on demand though. Like
it shouldn't really be. No, if it's something you want to do.
Well, if you're a singer, potentially not. But it's something you can work on. The talent is there.
For sure.
It's just the stage fright. We've got to just not be frightened of the stage. We've got to enjoy it.
To get rid of stage fright, you've got to not be frightened of the stage. Yes. Amber Rose 2024. Thank you. Thank you.
That was word vomit.
Speaking of word vomit, do you know what I did at the end of that audition?
No,
I forgot. It gets worse.
Stop.
So I finished my audition and was so horrified by how bad it went. So I'm collecting my things. It's really awkward because I know that they're just thinking, well, she's crap. We're not going to take her on.
I bet they didn't think that though.
No, genuine. Well, I didn't get the role. So
I just hate hearing her slate herself.
No, it's not slating myself. It's just slating what I did in that room.
Okay,
that's not even a true reflection of my ability. It's fine. We
as
can
long
laugh.
as we make that crystal clear.
We can laugh.
I'm just being the defensive friend that's like, no, but you're good though.
That's so cute. And honestly, I don't doubt myself for a second.
Yeah.
I am talented. I can sing. It's fine. But what I did in that room, I don't
Something
claim
came
her
over you.
anyway. Yeah. So it's fine. So what I did was I was collecting my bits and pieces. I decided to say...
Stop. What did you say? What did you say?
Oh, by the way... I can't even bring myself to say it.
Say it. Tell the people.
I actually can hit the high notes when I'm by myself.
No. You didn't tell the judges that you can hit it
audition.
you're by yourself.
And the guy,
There is no way.
he was like, okay.
That's not word vomit. That is diarrhea. What you produced. I can't believe you came out with that. The one thing you should never do is tell them that you can't perform in front of them.
That's literally what I said. I
Oh
basically said,
my
by the
gosh.
way, I can't perform for this performance, but I like to sing by myself. Do you think you would take me on?
I absolutely wouldn't,
Yeah.
based on that line alone.
Yeah.
Even if I had thought that you were pretty good, I think as a judge, I probably wouldn't.
Same.
Wow,
and
Sophia.
they actually agree with you because, like I said, I didn't get the role, but I wasn't surprised, and I had actually come to terms with that the second I walked out of the room.
Nice.
But jokes aside, it was a great experience.
Good.
I haven't done auditions in so long, and now I just know that it's not just about the performance; it's about the aura you give off from
Yeah,
the second you
for
walk in the
sure.
room, and. Nothing is that deep. Like,
No.
this was not even serious. I shouldn't have taken it so serious, and then maybe I would have got some words out of my mouth. But we live and learn.
Yeah, you live and you learn, and I'm proud of you. Anyway,
Aw.
I don't care if you didn't get that role or not. You deserve to get any role,
Thanks,
and you
darling.
will soon. So
I will.
it's a lesson learned. Right, we need to clear this up once and for all. Can the people please be informed today that we are not the same person?
I think it's been enough now. I get it.
It's-
Like years ago.
Yeah.
Fine.
We've been on the internet for a while now, guys. We are not the same people.
Not even close. I mean, we do speak the same.
Do we?
A little bit. We've got the same mannerisms, I guess.
Yeah.
We've got
But,
the same lingo.
People say our voices sound
No.
so similar that they can't even tell us apart.
No, that's stretching it, guys.
I think you guys are gaslighting us. We don't sound that similar. Like have you got a higher voice than me? You've
yeah,
got
I think
a softer
so.
voice as well.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think you're softly spoken too, though.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I sound feral like a rat. Like, I swear.
I hate my voice.
I hate my voice.
But people do say I've got quite a nice voice.
They
so maybe I do. I don't know.
People love your voice. Not mine though. They
Yeah,
tell
they
me that
do.
I'm annoying all the time.
No, they don't. It
No.
was only when she had an era where she would shout into the screen. But I think you passed that now.
When I first started making videos, right, and I was doing these like viral hits, whatever, I would scream on my voiceovers. Who remembers those days? It's so embarrassing. I can't.
But
take
it worked. It got the views.
It did, but at what cost? Because people would literally be like, "Why are you shouting at me?" And I would own it every time.
Because I want the
was
views.
shouting.
What can I say?
At the time, you had to make a 30-second video. You had to shout. You had
Yeah.
to do the most ridiculous clickbaity hook
Yeah.
of all time.
Yeah.
And that was the only way to get 1 million views. And that I did.
Well, it worked, darling. And you still have she has a lovely voice and a lovely singing voice, as I keep trying to tell the people.
I don't want to sing. I don't like it. I just want to own Orima. No, but for real, guys, we're actually not the same person. For everyone listening on audio, on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, is it Amber Rose or Sophia speaking?
Or is it Sophia speaking or Amber Rose?
Oh, come on, they can tell.
That's
We
so
don't
different.
sound the same.
Someone did say, I saw a comment recently and
Yeah.
it said, oh my God, I've finally realized that you are not the same person.
Stop.
But only because I have the visual.
Stop. No, but like, okay, so when we released our first episode and it was premiering live, so many people in the comments were like, you guys sound the same. And you know what? At this point, we're going to own it. Okay.
I'll
I sound the
take it.
same as Sophia. I like it. She's my
I
best
like
friend.
it. I think we're morphing into one. So
We are like the same.
It's what they
human,
say
to be fair.
happens to married couples.
We are a package deal.
Yeah.
And
Buy one, get one free.
I was going to say we're more expensive.
Oh.
There's two of us. Sure. Buy one, get one free.
Well, another thing is though,
Yeah.
that we are also from very different places.
We are.
Like completely different continents, very different. So I think that's another differentiating factor that may help with this dilemma.
It would. Sophia, why don't you take the floor? Start.
Sure.
Where are you from, darling?
And sometimes it can be a bit ambiguous, as it were, because I think people have thought I'm Portuguese in the past.
Yeah, I
a
can
big
see
one
that.
I get recently is Bengali.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot of them. Like even I went to the eyebrow shop once and the lady genuinely started speaking to me in Bengali.
Really?
And then when I wasn't responding, it wasn't out of rudeness. It was because I genuinely thought she was like on the phone. And then she was like, are you not Bengali?
And you're like, no.
And I was like, no. She was so shocked, like genuinely shocked.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's not just from people who aren't Bengali. That was a Bengali woman who thought I am. So that was really interesting.
I can see it a little bit, but
can't
because
really see it.
I know you and I know where you're from, I can't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I take it. Bengali women are beautiful.
They are.
I'll take it.
They are.
But I am half Jamaican and half Moroccan. So
Love that.
my mum is from my mum's mum is definitely from Jamaica, but I did a DNA test because of this. We're not 100% sure.
Yeah.
And DNA also comes up all from Africa.
Okay.
Because obviously Caribbean people are from Africa
Yeah,
originally. And so I've got a lot of Congo in me, a lot of Nigerian in me.
Love that.
But yeah, my actual like mum and dad, my dad's Moroccan and my mum is Jamaican and potentially Antiguan, but we don't really claim that because we don't really know if that's true.
Yeah.
So half Jamaican, half Moroccan.
These ancestry tests will get you thinking about all these different types of things.
Right.
Like, it'll get you rethinking your entire life. Like, am I really from where I think I'm from?
Exactly.
Like, you've got all these different continents and countries coming up, and then you realize, oh my gosh, like my life might have been a lie.
Yeah. I've got 1% Jewish in me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Don't know who from in the family lineage, but it makes sense because my nan is quite dark skinned and my mum is slightly more light skinned, and so it shows that there is some like white ancestry in us somewhere. So it's just interesting. I think everyone should do a DNA test because even if you know where your parents are from, there's a little something in there in that test that you're going to find very interesting.
I'd like to know.
Yeah.
How about your dad?
I'm actually 51% North African.
Really?
So that means even my mum has a little bit of North African in her somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad is Moroccan through and through because it came up 51%
that
North
is
African.
Solid Moroccan genes.
He is Moroccan through and through. And we're actually Berber. So my nan doesn't actually speak the dialects of Arabic. She only speaks Berber. But my dad does speak Arabic. He speaks Berber. He speaks French. I speak a little bit of French, but I'm embarrassed to say I don't speak any of the languages. That's my dad's fault. I always say to him, why didn't you teach us the languages growing up?
It's so on him.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with you,
fault.
not your fault at all.
I blame him. He says it's because your mum only speaks English. I didn't want to leave her out. I said, that's not quite an excuse.
Yeah, come on, Dad. Come on, teach me a bit of Berber. Thanks, Dad, for not teaching me the language of my people.
Yeah, like whenever I tell people I'm from Morocco, they're like, oh, and then they start speaking in Arabic, and I'm like,
I don't know.
Yeah, but I am still in touch with my Moroccan side. Okay, don't get it twisted. We used to go back every single year.
That is
when I was a kid.
I wish we did that. I never did that.
It was amazing, and like we used to do this thing. If we went for a month, we would do 2 weeks in a hotel resort and then 2 weeks in the family home. So the family home was always a lot funner.
Yeah.
Or more fun, however you say that grammatically. Because we would see my nan, and she's really old, but she's still super strong. All the food. It's just, we've got a really big family over there.
It's the food that gets me. It's like when you go to the family home, you're going to get the big treatment. Yeah. You've come from London.
Exactly.
You guys are the cool ones. And they just treat you like kings and queens.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
They are like very hospitable in Morocco. Yes. And just because we're family as well, it's not anything big to them. Like they just see it as like, of course we would do that for you. And I would love to host them in our home as well one day. That would be really cute.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure they'd love it.
You would love it.
I am so gutted that I haven't gone to Morocco because it's genuinely on my list. Like it's on my bucket list. You're from there as well. And so that's why I feel like I've got close ties, you know. So I'm like, I need to go. I'm just gonna come to your family home.
Yeah, they'll love it.
Yeah, I think I'm quite good with families. I just know what they like. Like I could just sit down on the floor, eat some food with them, have some tagine, have a good time.
You will love it. There's a specific tagine that I think you will love. It's a lamb and prune one. It's my favorite. And I think you'll love it because right now she's in this era of saying that she doesn't like spicy food anymore.
I like bland
food.
Yeah, I like toast with butter. That's it.
Not true. But this is the era she's in now. And so a lamb and prune tagine is not spicy at all.
Okay, love that.
It's got a sweetness to it, but it's still so flavorful. I think you'll really like it, and it's my favorite. Every time I go back there, I always say, please can we have the lamb and prune tagine, because I absolutely love it. But yeah, I'm gonna make it for you one day.
I can't wait because I am not convinced that I like prune. But I think I could get down with the tagine.
Yeah, I think you'll like it because I don't like stuff like that. I mean, I don't mind raisins, but I hate raisins in stuff.
Yeah.
prunes, I don't even eat it. I don't even know what it tastes like outside.
My mum
of the
loves
tagine.
prunes.
Really? What is a prune? Like a plum?
It's
like an old plum?
Yeah, like she would eat it so much growing up. It was insufferable. She loves prunes.
Well, she'll love the tagine as well. She should come
Maybe
too.
you should get my mum to come round as well.
I shall. Speaking of your mum, actually,
Yes.
where is she from? Where are you from? What about your dad as well?
That was a good segue.
I'm getting good at the segues, all right? I'm trying to keep us on track. You know, this is tap water. The tap goes a bit awry sometimes, all right? So I'm keeping us on track. That was a great segue. Let's have it.
Brilliant work,
Thank
Sophia.
you.
Brilliant
Thank you.
work. So my mum is from Pakistan, but she is specifically from the Hunza Valleys.
Yes.
And my dad is Kenyan Indian. So
Wait, sorry, before you
Yes.
continue, a little disclaimer on behalf of you, are going to give the people, because my friend, a few times now in the past, has mentioned where she's from.
she has.
And every time she mentions this, it's supposedly her attempting to be a pick-me. Anytime she says the following phrase, it's slightly different from the mainland regions of Pakistan.
I get effed over.
Yeah,
on the
it
internet.
means that you
Yeah.
are a pick-me. You're trying to say that you're better. It's more elite.
No.
Nothing of the sort is about to come. Okay, she just wants to talk about where she's from, and it is different. There are differences in the
Yes,
culture, and it's really
massively.
interesting differences.
Yeah.
And not one is better than the other.
No.
Everyone's beautiful. Everyone's fantastic. But I just really want to hear about where my friend is from without it becoming an elitist competition. Please, can I?
Elitist competition is the perfect way to put
Please.
it. Because guys, I don't perceive where I'm from to be an accolade of any sort. It's just genuinely
where
my
I'm from.
heritage,
Please.
my culture. Please stop coming from my neck. Every time I specify that my mum is from the Hunza Valleys, I have to specify that because we have cultural differences.
And that's a beautiful thing.
It is. It's something that I should be allowed to
be
be happy
proud
about
of,
and
yeah.
proud about.
Yeah.
And that is the point. I'm so proud of my culture. I
love
don't
that.
feel like there's a lot of representation for Hunzai people like myself on the internet. Like, when do you hear someone who's like, oh yeah, I'm from Hunza? Like, it's such a rare rural kind of community in the world that a lot of people don't know about. I want to be able to talk about it without being shunned by the rest of Pakistan.
Yeah.
And then also having people on the internet be like, well, you don't look Hunzai, or you can't be from
Yeah.
Hunza, or like, you think you're better than us, or no, you're not that different. And it's like,
I wasn't trying to be
wasn't trying
different.
to be
I'm just
different.
saying where I'm from.
Yeah.
Anyways, now that's out of the way. Can we hear where you're from without any of that nonsense? We've pre-warned you now. All right. So
we
no
don't wanna
naughty
see
behavior.
it, all right?
Okay. Take it away, please, darling.
So, my mum is from a very beautiful place. It's called the Hunza Valleys. It's in the north of Pakistan, and it borders China, Afghanistan, I think India as well. And so it's this mountainous region. And when I tell you, it's literally like living in paradise. Like,
Wow.
you genuinely, like, it's all just within a mountainous land. It's off-grid living to like the next level.
You know, this girl is always on YouTube, yeah?
Watching
Searching
Hunza
Hunza Valley.
Yeah, I swear.
And she just, you know, like a cat when you put birds on. That's this girl with the YouTube videos of the
Bro.
Hunza Mountains, man.
I need everyone to know about this place. Like,
Everyone stop right now. Well, don't. After you finish watching
Yes.
this, search the Hunza Valleys on YouTube.
yes, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, honestly, if I go on a night out, right, with a random person, I'll be like, by the way, do you know where Hunza's from? That's where I'm from. Like, yes, I want people to know where I'm from. I like my culture. I think it's cool.
I think that's a good thing.
And that's why it's so annoying when people on the internet are like, oh yeah, she's not in touch with her desi side. Like, she's too
No.
westernized. No, I'm not westernized, okay? All right? Just because I don't present as however you want me to present as a South Asian woman, right? A woman of the modern time, but I really like my culture. It's actually a really big part of me. And I do speak about it a lot internally with my family and
you
friends.
do.
It's
Even on the
insufferable.
internet, though,
Yeah.
you do. Every time she goes to make a desi meal, everyone's like, wow, she's in touch with her desi side, as if it's like something new or
As if I've never, like, as if it's a
haven't
new
been.
thing.
Yeah.
Like, but that's so annoying because it's like, oh yeah, she's like this English girl and like now
Yeah.
she's making desi curry. No, bro. Like, that's how I grew up. Like, you know, when you grow up with something, it's normal. So you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But then I realized when you don't talk about things on the internet, they don't exist.
Yeah.
And so now that I haven't been showing you the curry I eat at home, suddenly you think I don't eat curry. Bro, I was eating curry for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Not breakfast.
Like, I actually like it. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed about my culture. It's actually the opposite. And I like to ramble and talk about it a lot. But anyways, I do digress. She's from the Hunza Valleys, really cool area in the world. If you haven't heard about it before and this is the first time you've ever heard about this, I would encourage you to go and check and, you know, just do some research on it. It's really interesting. We're this rural tribe. Essentially, we don't speak Urdu, which is the main language of Pakistan.
But you do speak it now, don't you? You've learnt it. Yeah.
So I've learnt it because my mom got remarried when I was like 8 years old, and my stepdad's from like the mainland Pakistan, from the capital, and so he speaks Urdu. But growing up, we spoke a dialect called Shina, and my mom also speaks another dialect called Brushiski. So my grandparents, they didn't even speak Urdu. They didn't
similar to my nan who
it.
knows Berber, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
They only spoke like Shina and Brushiski because that's what they knew. It's a very kind of like, it's like I don't know if tribe is the right word, but they're very in touch with their culture and kind of stay there.
I guess it kind of is. It's like a tribe within Pakistan, right?
Yeah. I think now, obviously, that we're in 2024 and we've got more access to the internet and stuff like that, more people know about it. It's a holiday destination for people. And yeah, like people within like the Hunza Valleys also do know Urdu, and they do know more about the cultures outside of Hunza.
Okay.
But I think back in like kind of my mum's time in the 1980s, they weren't that educated on like other parts of Pakistan per se. So they just kind of had their food, their language, their clothes. So like we have different traditional clothing. So obviously in Pakistan you normally wear like a shalwar kameez. That's kind of the clothing you'd associate with Pakistan. I don't know what the name is for ours. We do wear shalwar kameez, but like on our wedding day we'll have like different hats, so it's slightly different patterns and designs. As I said, we speak different dialects. We have very different food. Like you would think as a Pakistani woman, as a South Asian woman, that like I just eat spicy food and that's what I grew up eating. It's literally the opposite.
Okay, give me top 2 dishes from Hunza.
Okay, so this is a drink.
Okay.
But my favorite thing is a salty tea.
Yes, we have spoken about this.
Yeah.
Because you have always found it very odd when people have a tea and it's got sugar in it.
Yeah.
Right?
That is bizarre. I think I literally knew as maybe at the age of 12 that people typically drink sugar in their tea, because growing up I thought salt was meant to be in tea. So we'll have literally PG tips, add your milk, and then you add salt, you add black pepper, and then you add butter.
So is this in the mug, or do you like
In the mug, like
cook
it's tea.
But I mean, do you cook it or you put the butter
So if you
straight
want to
into
do
the
it
mug?
properly, like you'll brew it like on the pan,
Okay.
and so you'll get it a little bit frothy.
Okay.
If you're just doing a quick one, you just want your quick salty chai, then you'll just literally make it like how you make a sugary tea.
Wow.
It's different variations.
Yeah.
You can put the butter in because we also add bread inside it, so it's like a stew.
Wow.
And the bread is called fiti.
So you know how a PG Tips is called English breakfast?
Yeah.
This is basically a Hunzai breakfast.
Yeah, it genuinely is a breakfast, and it's a very filling breakfast. I think that's traditionally where it came from.
Yeah.
Because we basically eat from our land. We grow our own crops. It's very like clean, organic eating. Like everything that you grow, you eat. You know, very, very minimal kind of like seasonings, but all very herby, earthy. You know, our dishes are made with like flour, wheat, dough. Like we will slaughter the chicken and eat it right there and then.
So very much natural of the earth.
Yeah.
Not loads of machinery and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
I need to be in on this.
Yeah, you do. Like they are known for living to like 100. Like,
yeah,
that is
I need
a fun
all
fact
the
of Hunza.
recipes.
I don't know about now. But like I do have so much family back there.
Yeah.
And like my mom's like, oh, like, you know, our auntie, she's like 102 years old. And I'm like, bro, like, how is she going? Shout out to auntie, right? Like, seriously, auntie be laying down on the floor like, hello, like not in English, but you know what I mean. And yeah, they live on forever. The Hunzais, they're brilliant.
Love that.
They have their dried apricot, which is like what they're very famous for.
Yes.
We have loads of dishes. I'll name some off, but I won't describe them. See if you guys know any.
Okay.
So we've got chamurki. We have dawdo, which is like a very like popular dish. Like it's a stew.
Okay.
And you kind of put like pieces of roti inside, similar to dumpling.
Okay.
A little bit. We've got chumuriki, we've got rabong, so many dishes. And like these are dishes that you might not necessarily know of if you're Pakistani. So that's cool.
That is very
cool.
So
I ate growing up. And yeah, I can make a few of them. So maybe I should do some videos on it.
Yeah, and maybe you should make me some.
Yeah, you'd love it. I would love it.
Okay, so that's your mum's side. So what about your dad's side? I know you didn't really grow up with him, so you're probably not as in touch. But yeah, what about your dad's side?
Yeah, as you said, like unfortunately, I'm not as in touch as I'd like to be. But yeah, they are Kenyan Indian. So they're of Indian heritage. But they all kind of grew up in Kenya, have family in Kenya. It's a thing. Like, there's loads of Kenyan Indians.
There's like Chinese people in Jamaica.
Yeah.
There's a thing.
Like, it's
genuinely.
A thing.
Yeah.
So I think this is a thing.
Yeah.
Again, because they're Kenyan Indian, there's slightly different cultural nuances. Like, a few of the dishes that I ate, like, that my grandma would make growing up, had kind of nods to Kenya and India.
Okay, so slight hybrids.
Exactly. So I really need to go to India. And I need to go to Kenya.
Yes.
I haven't been to either.
India is on my bucket list. It's one of the places I really want to do, like do a month-long holiday
Genuinely. Because I have been to the Hunza Valleys. I have been to Pakistan a few times. But I haven't gone to India. And so it would be nice to explore that side of my culture a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is really the story in Balamuri.
I guess we are therefore from very different places.
Indeed.
And so that should clear up the confusion going forward.
Hopefully, guys.
We are very much two different people. Very much in love though.
We are like, we're so passionate about each other. I'm like, I want to go Jamaica. I want to go Morocco.
And I want to go to India. I want to see the Hunza Valley. But yes, we are two different people who are very much intertwined.
We're just in love.
Exactly.
Like, I am in love with you.
Same.
Yeah.
What should we do about
intensely?
Get married?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it.
Should we have kids?
I don't know how like biologically that would work.
No, it would, because I actually, my life plan is to adopt 3 kids.
She does want to adopt.
Yeah, like it's in my life plan. Future husband, if you're listening, we shall be adopting 3 kids. Abducting.
We shall be abducting.
Sorry, Sorry again, future husband. Future husband, if you're listening, me and you are going to have a beautiful life together, and we will be adopting 3 kids. Not abducting them. We'll also have 3 of our own, so I want a family of 6.
I want a big family as well.
Yeah, big empire.
Well, this is a story for another day because we digress.
We do.
Whilst you were speaking about where you're from, it was making me think a lot about culture and how we have a lot of cultural differences in where we're brought up, right?
We do.
But there is something we have in common that we we kind of haven't discussed in a long time.
Okay, hit me.
So I'm just dropping this on you.
Okay.
But we were both brought up in religious households and specifically of denominations of the mainstream 2 biggest religions that are slightly, I guess, unconventional versus other denominations. And so, for example, I was brought up Jehovah's Witness and
I was brought up in Ismaili.
You was, which is a denomination of Islam, right?
It is.
So that is so funny that that is something we have in common. Obviously, they're very different faiths.
They are.
But they are within their, I guess, religious groups.
Yeah.
Seen as kind of different and niche
Yeah.
to the other denominations. So I just thought it would be really interesting to talk about that.
Do you know what's really funny? So myself and Sophia have had conversations before about things that we would share and wouldn't share online. And one thing I always said was, the one thing I'm not talking about is religion.
I understand why though.
Yeah. And I think that's just because I am of South Asian heritage and people just automatically assume she's Muslim. If she's not, she's going to die in the pits of hell. Someone guide her back to Islam. Allah, please save her.
Yeah.
And that discourse is so judgmental and so insane to me because, quite frankly, you have no idea how I was raised.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
And as Sophia just said, we've both been raised in mainstream religions. So obviously she was raised within Christianity, I was raised within Islam, but both within quite niche kind of sectors of that religion, which just made our religious experiences so much more different than it would usually be, and a lot more complicated growing up as well for us both. So yeah, something we definitely had in common, something I wish we probably shared more.
Because at the time, it was something that we definitely didn't speak about as kids. We only really realized the common ground when we spoke about it as adults.
Yeah.
Because for me personally, with that religion, I, growing up, always struggled with deciding whether it was a faith that I believed in or didn't. And there's so many beautiful aspects of that religion that to this day I still respect, even though I'm no longer part of it. But I just always had that internal struggle, and that's something I'm happy to discuss in like another time in further detail, my reasons why. And so in that time, being in, out, or unsure, it's such a personal thing that you don't think that anyone else would be going through. And so it's just so funny that you had a very similar experience.
Is it a different height of vulnerability?
Yeah.
And a different height of, like, I guess, just putting yourself out there for so much judgment. Because I think growing up naturally, you know, as kids, you're going to question the religion that you're brought into anyway. Like, even if I was a Muslim who was, for example, a Sunni or Shia Muslim, I probably would still have questions about my faith. The same way I saw, like, my peers in school always having questions about their faith or going back and forth between whether they believed in it or not. But the fact that I was an Ismaili Muslim on top of that was just insane, because every time that they would talk about their experiences, I'd just think in the back of my head, well, mine's completely different and I don't believe in that. Yeah. And that's probably the same thing that you went through as well, right?
And especially with Jehovah's Witnesses specifically, I think they have a worse rep than what's due. Because one thing I will say is, okay, I know that a lot of their beliefs are very different to a lot of other Christians. For example, they don't believe in the Trinity. They believe that Jesus and God are separate entities and the Holy Spirit. Or they don't celebrate birthdays.
That's a very controversial one, isn't it?
Or they would refuse a blood transfusion. And there's a lot of beliefs that a lot of people like take issue with almost. And one thing I can say about the religion is that all of their beliefs come from a genuine intention of understanding the Bible and taking it as literally or to the word as they can. And so yes, some of their beliefs may not seem like they make sense for the modern world and things like that, but at the very least they can show you where in the Bible they got that idea from. And so I really respect it. My issue was not per se by being so different. It was more just that every religious organization in my eyes is still man-made. And so I still think that there is still interpretations that may not be accurate or may not be what it actually meant. And so if I'm going to identify it as a religion or as part of an organization, I want to feel like I agree with every single belief. Otherwise, it just doesn't feel like I'm being true to myself, or like I really actually believe in what the religion that I'm saying I am believes, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
And I don't know if you feel similarly or...
Yeah, so for me, it is similar in terms of Ismailism is like an interpretation of... Like, Ismailism is largely based on interpretations of scriptures within the Quran. And their interpretations are very different to the interpretations that like Sunni or Shia Muslims would have. Because, for example, they believe in modesty, but they believe that within the modern time, modesty doesn't necessarily mean covering your hair, wearing a hijab, or wearing niqab. They just mean that modesty means, within the modern age, within 2024, potentially covering your arms, not showing much cleavage, not showing your legs. And so it's like opens you up to your interpretation of that, because we have to remember that obviously these kind of holy scriptures were written so long ago. And I think that's the whole point of this kind of religion, which is that yes, we believe in these scriptures wholly, we respect them, but within the modern time, this is how you would interpret it. And so that pretty much is the premises of Ismailism. I obviously am not a spokesperson, but this is just like kind of how I grew up and like kind of what I know. Yeah. And for example, I didn't ever go to mosque growing up because we called our religious center something completely different.
What was it called?
It's called JK.
Okay. Ours is called a Kingdom Hall. Yeah. So it's not called a church.
Exactly, which is so crazy that we both like have that.
And we just didn't know at the time.
Oh, it would have been so juicy if we shared it as teenagers. Yeah. But the point that I want to make anyway is I think myself and Sophia both are very respectful of all religions, all cultures. Evidently, like, we were so passionate about speaking about our culture, we literally rambled on for like 2 hours, right? Because we really just appreciate it so much, and have a lot of deep-rooted respect for it. Our families have been raised, within these religions, etc.
Because that's the thing, like, a lot of people when I can't speak for with your faith, but a lot of people who leave Jehovah's Witnesses specifically, they leave with like a serious
Vim.
bee in their
Yeah.
bonnet. Like they've really got a point to prove. And I'm like, it's fine. If you don't agree with the religion, there's a lot I don't agree with, but I still have so much respect for it. And I'm not just saying that.
Yeah.
Like my mum loves it. It's
Yeah.
changed her life. It makes her really happy. I know loads of people who absolutely love it. And I also know loads of people who hate it and who've left too. And
Yeah.
it's, to me, I'm like, it shouldn't be your life mission to
Yeah.
like go against a religion, but in the same way it shouldn't be your life mission if you see someone who chooses not to be in that faith or to stay with that faith, to then tell them that they're going to hell,
To shun them.
which I think you get a lot in your case.
Every day.
Slightly different with Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't actually believe in hell, but it's very much like a very sad thing. Oh, she's left, let's help her to come back. And it's like, actually, I'm okay and I'm really happy, and I'm sure you feel the same.
If anything, I just feel wholly patronized.
Yeah.
I'm like, you think I'm so uneducated to the point where I haven't made an informed enough decision.
It's just a worldly decision.
Like, it's so patronizing.
Yeah.
You think I'm this rebellious,
materialistic,
teenager who
wanting
just
all the
basically
things
wants
of
to
the
speak
world.
to boys,
Yeah,
drink
yeah.
alcohol and smoke. And that's why I've decided I don't want to be Muslim. Like, can you get a grip of yourself, please? Like, who makes such a monumental decision based on wanting to rebel? Surely I would just rebel and stay within the religion.
Yeah.
Surely I have fundamental kind of feelings towards that religion that make me feel like, actually, you know, that this doesn't align with me. The last thing I want to do is be a part of something just to make others happy.
Exactly.
Just to prove a point, and just because I'm scared of going to heaven or hell.
Yeah. And
like, I'm sorry. And that literally is it. Like, you know, the fact that people will watch this now and be like, oh, she's gone so far, you know, please guide her back. It's the most patronizing thing. And I promise you, I read those comments thinking, please, whoever you believe in, help you.
Yeah.
I hope that person helps you.
Yeah. And the thing is, we've kept it very high level, right? We haven't gone into immense depth and had a theological debate and discussion. But there is so many reasons and things that we could go into as to why we choose not to follow our respective religions that we were brought up in.
Because we're both very educated on them. Yeah.
I know the Bible back to front. I know the Bible very well. And I'm sure you know the Quran, right? It's not out of like ignorance. We are adults, and these decisions have been made based on like a lot of thought. And
honestly, our families accept us for who we are. You know, we can live lives amicably with our family, not amicably, but just normally with our families who respect our decisions as much as we respect theirs. You know, there's certain types of conversations which I probably wouldn't have with my mum just out of respect. You know, like, I'm not going to go and tell her, like,
just
I
to
don't like
start
this
a
and I
debate
don't
for the
like
sake
that.
of it. Yeah.
You know, she is a free woman to live her life the way she wants to live.
It makes her happy.
Yeah,
it
and
makes
so
her happy.
so it is for me, and we both have a lot of respect for them. But the whole, like, you're going to go to hell, please may Allah guide you, is insane.
Which I think you get a lot more of, because like you said, everyone knows that you're from Pakistan, and so they know that you're from a culture that is Muslim,
predominantly
right?
Muslim,
predominantly so. And so you get that, whereas I have never spoken about religion online, and even in school not many people even knew my religion, because it was something that I was always just so torn between and always hadn't made a decision. And you know me, once I've made a decision on something,
It's
or I'm
done.
confident, it's done. So I'm the most confident. You cannot sway me. And religion was the one thing where it took years of trying it and then hating it, and you know, and
I had
just
like really religious phases.
Yeah,
as
exactly,
well, where it
same.
was like trying my
Trying.
best, trying to pour my heart into it. Yeah.
And like every question that I did have or things that I disagreed with, I really gave it a chance to dig into those things. So I know my personal reasons why I've chosen not to be a part of the religion. And it's why I haven't really mentioned it before, but I thought the podcast would be a good place to, because we can contextualize things a little bit better.
And you can actually speak without people kind of jumping down your throat.
Exactly.
And you're able to contextualize things, as you said.
Exactly.
And also, it is just slightly uncomfortable. Like, for me, I'm not, you know, speaking on behalf of you, but for me, the amount of judgment that comes from the South Asian community, like, anytime I even speak about, like, earlier we had to like say 10 disclaimers, because I wanted to explain that I was from the Hunza Valleys and not from like the mainland Pakistan, because people always have a point to prove, and it comes from other people's ignorances and other people's insecurities.
Well, judgment is a sin anyway, so I'd reassess, especially if you are so religious.
Indeed,
It's not gonna take you well.
and to be fair, this takes me to kind of my next point on the topic, which is my belief is that the most important thing as a human being is to be a good one. And I don't think a good human being is somebody that judges somebody else and tries to act righteous and above them and make them feel like utter crap because they don't believe in what they believe in. Like, I can wholeheartedly say I respect other religions because I do. I take my time to educate myself on them. And I don't just perceive people who aren't of my faith to then just be wholly ignorant or just rebellious, or haven't made informed decisions, or they've been taken off the wrong path, off the right path, and they've been misguided. Like, don't patronize every single human being on earth who doesn't have the same beliefs as you. That doesn't make you a good human being. The amount of people that I know who are religious but are horrible people, like fundamentally, like their values and morals are messed up. Like, we can talk as much, like, if you think that because I do a certain thing, like for example, if I drink alcohol, right, it makes me a bad human being. I'd rather drink alcohol and be a bad human being versus be, in my context, a Muslim and kill someone. Because those people exist, right? So it's about being a good human being, for me personally.
So for the record then, are you a Muslim but you're trying to work towards it, or are you not?
No, I'm not. I'm not Muslim, and that's literally it.
And I think it's good to clear that up anyway, because people are constantly asking the question, constantly, why are you not eating halal? Why are you not dressed modestly? And it's like, but even, let's say for a second that you was a Muslim and you was slightly, you'd gone off path slightly. That is the worst way to get someone back on the right path. Like, I can 10 out of 10 guarantee you are only going to push someone further away.
I see it a lot on my For You page. Like, I'll see South Asian girls who are obviously Muslim, and they might not wear headscarf, for example, and the amount of comments but in such a like disparaging, is that the right word, way? Like, it's patronizing, it's condescending.
And
it's so horrible to even look at as someone who's not even in their position, but I can sympathize with them wholly, because you want to practice your faith in peace, and everybody has their own journey. The fact that you then have people watching you and shunning you for every single thing you do, when they, I can almost guarantee, are not perfect human beings, because we are all imperfect, is beyond me.
And the caveat to that, of course, is I understand that if you are in a religion, you don't want it to start getting, I guess, washed out over time, or like tainted, for example. So as time goes on, you're probably trying to keep a standard. This is what the religion teaches. But it's the way in which they go about it, right? Because I understand having a respect and a standard, but then there are really loving ways to do that. And a stranger on the internet that has nothing to do with you probably doesn't need your opinion on the right way to go about your faith.
But then what I would say to that is, again, people actually do lack education, because for example, if I was Muslim right now,
you would be Ismaili, right?
I would be Ismaili, which means I wouldn't wear a headscarf, because I don't believe in that.
So I'm not even on a journey to get to wearing
a hijab. So I'm not on a journey to get
like,
to it.
I'm not wearing it.
And the types of comments that I'd probably get would be, well, you should put on a headscarf, or like, oh my God, I can't wait till you wear a headscarf. And that wouldn't relate to me at all as an Ismaili Muslim, because that's not my goalpost. And so that is a lack of education from other members of the community who can't seem to comprehend that there are other denominations of Islam that exist, but not only that theirs isn't necessarily the right one. Like, everybody thinks theirs is the right one. So then whose is right and whose is wrong?
Exactly. And it comes from a place of believing you have the truth, right? It's the same goes for Jehovah's Witnesses too. Everyone just, once you feel like you found the answer and the truth, you want to spread that. But like I said, there are ways to do that are loving, that are inviting. And oftentimes with someone that has something to do with your life, if the person doesn't know you, it's probably not going to land well on their doorstep. If you are leaving comments that are condescending, that it's not going to do anything but push them further away. So that's just my 2 cents as someone who has been brought up very religious, but then also has stepped away from a religion too. I don't think you're going to get anyone any closer by being judgmental.
I would have to agree. Nothing left to say there.
And so we could go into this in so much more detail, because there's obviously so much to speak about.
There's so many layers to it.
There are so many religions as well. And I am still toying between figuring out whether I am a spiritual person or whether I'm completely like believing in science. I actually don't know what I believe. And like I was saying, I like to know what I think on everything.
Yeah, you do.
Because I'm very opinionated and I like to have an opinion, and that's my opinion. And theology and spirituality and religion is one that I'm still not set on. One thing I do know for sure though is that I don't think I want to be part of a religion, but there is beauty in so many of them. And I really do appreciate so many different aspects, especially of the holy scriptures specifically. So the Bible or the Quran or the Torah. I think the scriptures there is some great in there.
I think religions like itself, are beautiful. As you said, the scriptures. So my mum would take me to the Gurdwara and I'd be like, Mum, we can't go. We're not Sikh. And she's like, no, everyone's invited. And we would go there, eat our dal, eat our roti, have a good time. Like, I love it. Listen, it doesn't ever have to be like this whole like, oh my gosh, deep, like, oh, these guys are like so evil and like wrong and stuff. Like, live, laugh, love. Guys, everyone has their own opinions, own beliefs. Like, let's just respect each other. I respect you, you respect me. Just don't be condescending and patronizing on my bloody page. And that's it.
Because like we said, there's a lot more to it, and we don't want to turn this into theological debate, and we don't want it to come across as disrespectful, which is why we haven't divulged into the reasons why we choose not to associate with our respective religions. However, it has come from a place of a lot of thought. So just bear that in mind when you do make comments. I mean, I haven't received any to date, but I'm sure now that I put it out in the open, I will.
But a lot of credit to you, though, because it's like very hard to open up about stuff like this. Like,
nah, it's not.
Okay, for me it is. I feel very vulnerable, okay? I didn't want to talk about it.
So be nice to my friend then. Like I said, there is so much more that we could say on this topic.
Oh, for sure.
But it's always so fun to find more common grounds between us and just take a look at them and talk about them more. I always find it funny. And like you said, I wish we spoke about this more as teenagers.
You were more of a the secretive one though, because I would walk around being like, oh yeah, I'm Ismaili, by the way.
Yeah, it was always because, like I said, I always like to be sure before I say something. And since I was young, I just wasn't sure. Even as a kid, which is really strange because usually with your parents' religion, it just is your religion.
No, I questioned the religion like every day. I'd be like, Mum, why is this? Why is that? Why is this? Like I couldn't accept it.
Yeah, and I was exactly the same.
Yeah.
And so it just didn't sit right with me to identify as a religion when I just didn't know if it was. And it wasn't a complete no at the time, but it also wasn't a complete yes.
Exactly the same.
So, but yeah, now that I know it's not a religion I choose to follow, I don't mind speaking about it. I have nothing negative. It's very neutral for me.
Yeah,
it's just a experience, right?
Yeah. It just makes us who we are.
Exactly.
But as you said, there's nothing really negative for me to say.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have been talking about is the fact that it's just the people sometimes that make it not nice.
A final thought that just came to my mind actually. So there is a very popular couple on TikTok, and they're Jehovah's Witness.
Oh yeah.
Should I say the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chrissy Sarah.
Oh yeah.
And
I like her.
Desmond.
Yeah, Desmond's
too.
great.
I love them. And she's a Jehovah's Witness. And I've seen some videos, right? And I like, she's a Jehovah's Witness. She shouldn't be influencing like this. She's so materialistic.
Why
These are things that are
people so
against the
judgmental?
congregation. And I'm like, as someone who grew up in the religion, I know what points they're touching on and trying to make. But it's like, come on, there's no need to look at someone else's life and tell them how they should or shouldn't be acting or what they should or shouldn't be doing because they are of a specific faith. I've seen Christy Sarah always posting links to the website, and
that's so nice.
She's
though, that
genuinely proud of her religion, and everyone, like we've said, is on a journey. You don't know what conversations are happening behind closed doors. You don't know how she is or isn't feeling towards the religion, and she might be in her best phase right now where she's absolutely loving the religion and she's living a great life and she's happy. And I just hate conversations that take it to a personal level when it has nothing to do with you. You don't know the person. You are a stranger. You don't know what is going on in their personal private life. Take the content that they give to you in public, enjoy it, and that is it.
That's it. That is all you need to do.
That's it.
Same for us, please, ladies and gentlemen.
I know I'm going to get loads of questions.
No, I think everyone's going to hate me now.
No, they won't.
Because I'm Pakistani and Indian and I'm not Muslim.
But that's your choice. And if they do hate you, then good riddance. Because
no, absolutely.
I swear that hate is a sin.
It might be.
The spirit of hate is a satanic spirit. And so you should not be embodying that as a believer.
Yeah. Doesn't feel nice, does it, guys? On the other side of it.
Getting told off. It's not nice.
No.
I'm acting like this has happened to me. It hasn't happened to me. But
it must feel like it at this point.
I vicariously experience it through you.
Yeah. Because I've experienced your religion through you.
I mean, actually, I'm not going to divulge.
Yeah. Listen, I think on this topic, there is so much to say. There are so many layers. And as we have said 10 million times, there are so many educated reasons why we've made the decisions that we have. But I think the main key takeaway from this is we don't judge you. Please don't judge us. Please, above everything else, don't be patronizing and condescending. And
or do be, but we're not going to listen.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to laugh at you anyway, for real. But please don't just assume that these are decisions are made because we want to be rebellious.
Yeah.
And we're just these young girls who've lost their way. You're literally so far off and you're so wrong. I have much better things to do with my time than walk away from an entire religion because I want to be rebellious.
Yeah, look, I think it comes from a place of a lot of deep thought, a lot of conversations, a lot of theological discussions, debates, reading scripture. Like she said, this has not come from nowhere. And so that is our personal decisions. And I respect you, you respect me, you respect her, and everyone's happy.
Exactly. We're happy. And we are good humans, I'd like to think.
I'd like to think so. I think that's all there is to say on that
I
topic.
I think the tap has now run dry.
Surely.
Yeah.
Surely.
I think I'm done with the tap. I'm gonna close that tap up.
And so where can they find you if they want to see you?
So it's Amber Rose Bad on TikTok and Instagram. And for you?
Sophia Hannah on TikTok and Instagram. And what about your business?
Ori Mart on TikTok and Instagram. And your business, Sophia?
At We Are Full Foods on TikTok and Instagram.
And if they want to order from Full, how do they do that?
It is www.wearefullfoods.com or .co.uk.
Love
and
that.
for Orimar,
it is www.orimart.com or .uk. All links are in our bio, guys. And above everything and all else,
yes,
make sure that you like, you subscribe.
Oh, please.
You give us a 5-star rating if you are watching on Spotify.
That would be amazing.
If you're listening on Apple Music, if you're listening on Amazon Music, please do also give us a 5-star.
That would be brilliant.
Please make sure you are following the Tap Water podcast.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
That would be great on TikTok and on Instagram. We've got some cool behind the scenes going on. I like to take a good selfie when I'm in my pink little clothes.
She
and so
does.
do you. So we do post on our stories regularly. We do actually make some cool kind of cutesy TikToks. Why not give us a follow?
Well, my darling, I guess the tap has officially been turned off. And I guess that means it's over
And out.
Bye.